Yo, what is poppin' YouTube? This is Digital Senpai. How the heck are you guys today? Hopefully everyone answered. Great, great, Kevin. How are you? I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking, guys. Appreciate it. So today's video is kind of more or less random. There's no like specific direction I want to take it in. I just had a few comments, concerns, ideas, thoughts, tips. There you go, all that good stuff, and just wanted to chat with you guys and make a video. So why not? But basically, it's gonna follow generally in the line of competitive, or mostly regard competitive. But before all that, I did want to mention and update Call of Duty competitive, because I mentioned that in a previous video before. So with Call of Duty, everything is going pretty seamlessly smooth, actually. Surprisingly smooth. Everything is good. I just have to finish and tie a few ends basically and restructure and finalize my roster. So probably 2 to 3 things, but everything is smooth, and hopefully the timeline right now would be to start events and tournaments by the end of January, or probably the third week towards the end of January, like right around there is pretty good to kick off like 2019 with a good bang for Call of Duty, because I was kind of bummed out I didn't get to do anything with CWL. They just had a big tournament from when this would be released, this video, so there's that. But hopefully everything goes well. On the other end, I wish I could say the same thing with Overwatch. Overwatch has just been such a drag and honestly tedious, and I'll explain a little bit more, but for the most part, it's just been a headache. And also, disregard my sore throat right now because it is 14 degrees in the East Coast in Massachusetts. I don't wear any coats. I'm all about the hoodies, so yeah, I'm bound to get sore throats here and there. My bad. But for the most part, everything, yeah, it's just been super tedious with Overwatch. I mean, some of the bad things I really don't agree with, and that I wish they would kind of change. I know they tweak their ranking system quite a lot, because their ranking system is very important to where you want to be with the Overwatch League, and that's kind of where I want to get to, because I want to play professionally at a high level with this game as well, just like Call of Duty. It's kind of Call of Duty is 1A and Overwatch is pretty much like 1B, but it's very important to that system because you need to get to an open division, kind of open bracket setup to compete in contenders, which is like their next level up. And then from contenders, you can get drafted into an Overwatch League team. So it's kind of a long process in its own, on top of you trying to even rank up that much, because I think you have to get to a GM level, like somewhere around there. Mid GM, low GM, something like that, to even get into the open division. So it's quite a headache to get to that point. So like me, who has to go through that learning curve on top of that, because obviously this gameplay is from PS4, I was averaging maybe around Masters to GM for both of my main accounts. I got through that learning curve. I got ranked at gold, and it's just been, I guess, frustrating to say the least. The example I tell everyone all the time is, just recently I got a 4-loss like streak. Yeah, it was 4 losses, and it took me 7 games just to get back to neutral, just to get back to where I was. It took me 7 games, even though I lost 4. So that in itself should say a lot, because I don't agree with their system like that. And the first example was when I first got ranked, I actually lost 8 games, and to get to the point back to where I was in gold, I had to win I believe it was either 17 or 18 games. It was quite a lot, and in between that 17 or 18 games, I got like another 7 game stretch of just complete winning. So I don't quite know all the specifics in their system. I know some of it's generated based off your score and how many kills and all this stuff, just like other games. And up to a certain point, obviously, it's how well you do per win and loss. And then again, to a certain point, everything is just general win and loss. You get a certain amount of points each. But I don't agree with that kind of layout. I don't agree with not having that much growth and diversity in their opportunities. And what I mean by that is they have opportunities like the open division, like contenders and Overwatch League, and maybe a few other things in between, but there's no real variety there. Like there's no place to get noticed if you're a player in contenders, besides like winning. Obviously you're scouted by these teams, but there's no place to really shine other than your gameplay. Sometimes you let your game speak for itself, but it wouldn't hurt to add more to it, like you know, most of the time people have to go through YouTube and get noticed by YouTube to even get a chance to get an invitational, that kind of stuff. And it's not fair for people in my shoes, as you would know, to again, you know, lose 4 to win 7 to get back to where you were, and you're trying to get somewhere in the game. You're trying to be somebody in the game. So to play this game professionally, you're going to have to go through this long haul. God forbid you're in like bronze or something like that. You have to go through so many games just to get to like a GM level to even have the opportunity to play professionally. So I just think take games like Fortnite recently, or even other games as well, have great systems to implement to showcase that player. So they'll have like mini tournaments, so maybe they can get a shine there and get some self promotion through that. Maybe it's your team that's bringing you down, even though half the time it's really not. Like, so you can carry your team to a point if you're that good, like they said, like they keep saying, and all this other stuff. Like, it is on you, but sometimes it is your team. Sometimes you do have throwers or people rage quit or leave or whatnot, but it wouldn't hurt to have, again, like the Fortnite thing where they have a bunch of tournaments, or even Call of Duty does it as well, to self-promote yourself and to get your name out there and to get more experience and stuff like that. I think Overwatch would really benefit from that, but that's not to say they're doing everything bad. So a couple of their good things I do agree with is that they do have a lot of diversity in their kind of like Overwatch league as a whole. They have UK, South Korea, and China, which is awesome internationally, and then regionally and locally they have everywhere from Atlanta to Dallas to New York and Boston. It's really cool to see all that. And then the community is very like upfront. It's very warming, just like a few other communities. It's not too toxic. I think in certain ways people like dismiss that and don't believe that, because you get a lot of that through online, like or repetitious like online, you know, matches for rank. But for the most part, higher up, yeah, it's not that bad, especially on console. It's really not that bad. And again, just the diversity, and of course the contracts definitely help, because if you're old school like me, you had to get all the money like through promoting stuff you didn't want and like looking for sponsors the hard way and stuff like that. So by you getting contracted and compensated for your time is awesome, which leads me to my third thing. So I kind of generally just wanted to give you guys tips for the most part, because I've gone through this with Call of Duty, and I'm going through this again with Overwatch and Call of Duty the second time. So if you're struggling, again, some tips, or take it with a grain of salt, I guess, if you're saying maybe I don't have the qualification to give you guys these tips. But for the most part, I've learned, I've known, I've heard all this good stuff. So I would say for the majority, stay confident, stay positive. If you're in a hole like me, especially like Overwatch or anything like that, with any game, really stay positive and look at the bright side. It could always be worse, and just keep, you know, giving your all it is time and practice. So if you put in the time, you put in the dedication to learn your craft. For example, Call of Duty, if you take the time to learn every single map inside and out, what's the best nade spot, what's the best spot where I can rush someone, what's the best situational spot, you prove all that through experience as well, which you gain like situational awareness. All that is fantastic, guys. So if you know, improve everything from your tracking in this game to your accuracy, make sure you do that. Make sure you put in the time to increase like your recognition within the game, your recognition within the map awareness. All these things are very important to become successful in any game. So my advice for you would be, again, take a situation like Call of Duty or even this game. You go into a couple matches, you learn, you get familiar with the game. Over time, regular games become nothing but practice, you know what I mean, like these games. So you go into a comp game, or you go into a regular scrim for Call of Duty or anything like that, you take what you learn and you improve on that. Like they say for sports, I mean, you just learn off of your mistakes, you learn off of your losses, so never just get mad. It'll get frustrating, but you have to keep working towards what you want. You know, you have to create what I tell people is your situational diversity needs to be like very high. You need to be able to play at different levels, different speeds, recognize different opportunities in front of you. Again, all these things on top of being confident and gaining that practice behind you are really important. So maybe I'll do a different like video later down the line as far as like scouting and map knowledge and your spacing and then all these good things that go into becoming a great player. But for the most part, I think you guys got the point. It was just like a random video. So until the next video, peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay as well. Hopefully everyone had a good day, like I said. So peace.